What is going on, y'all? It is back to the Anti-Oki Podcast, and I am MisterBehavior, and he is Ceelows. What's going on, man?
You guys ready for today, man?
We got some crazy shit.
I mean, I know we usually post cringe, but like, it's kind of been like increasingly crazy.
I know, right? It's like every
when's it gonna like take a break? Like, damn, bro.
We're never gonna take a break, dude. We're in clown world right now.
That's it,
you
bro.
know what I mean? Like,
that's it, bro.
There's no coming down. So, of course, we got to bring you the weekly dose of cringe here on the Anti-Oki Podcast. We got a couple of things we want to talk about. First up, we have some stuff coming out of the Pokemon Go world, you know what I mean, which is a little weird, but I don't really play that game.
I used to.
I played it like for the first second when it came out, and it's probably changed a lot. I think the last time I played it was when I was in Japan, just so I could have some Japanese Pokemon, you know. But we got some weird stuff coming out of there. Some Twitter warriors are pretty mad at Niantic right now, so we'll go into that. And then the next thing is some cringe coming out of Aberdeen, Washington. I'm sure by the time you watch this episode, you will have seen this, but there was some stuff, an altercation, let's say, happened between a particular person and the shop owner. So we'll get into that. And then the last thing is not cringe, but I wanted to talk to you, Ceelows, about your thoughts about the Street Fighter 5 summer update. And, so we could have a little bit of FGC content here because we start out as an FGC podcast and we still
I know
like that stuff, but we're getting further and further away from that. But that's cool, man. So, okay. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Niantic thing first, because I want to bring you up to speed with this and get your thoughts on this. So basically, Pokemon Go, for those of you who don't know, how do you not know? It's an augmented reality game where people walk around, they catch Pokemon, all that kind of stuff. So during the pandemic, Niantic, who is the creator of the game, the publisher of the game, decided to put in some COVID-19, I guess, I don't want to say restrictions, but they kind of like loosened up some of the rules. So like you could get access to things on the map without having to like walk over to it. They kind of they expanded the proximity range of certain things. So like gyms and things like that. And recently they decided to pull back those restrictions because we should be close to out of this, right, by now. And people were not happy about it. Actually, believe it or not, people are not happy about having to go outside of their house. And so there was a hashtag. I can already see your exasperation. There's a hashtag called Hear Us Niantic, right? People want Niantic to do things that they want them to do. And here, let me see if I can get the second part of this here. I might have to unshare and then share again. 1 second.
I'm wondering if, like, I can't really tell if Pokemon is woke like that.
You mean like the
or
game?
Niantic is, yeah.
Niantic is based in San Francisco, so that might
That
might give you an indicator.
I wonder if they're catered to this, because I know we talked about last time with like the Final Fantasy stuff. Like we're starting to see some like Japan kind of adopt a little bit of wokeness. I wonder if that will be the case with like Pokemon and shit. I don't really follow Pokemon too heavy, so I don't really know if there's crazy wokeness in that game or the culture or anything.
Well, there's a Netflix show coming out, but that's a different thing. So maybe, you know. So here's the part one of the 2-part image tweet that these people put out under the hashtag Hear Us Niantic, right? These people want Niantic. Overall, they want them to put back the COVID-19 regulations because they don't want to leave their house. So here's what it says. It says, community and creators alike wish to voice our concern and disappointment over recent changes to the Pokestop interaction radius reduction in Pokemon Go. So it was specifically for the Pokestops. I thought it was for Pokemon too, but it's specifically for this Pokestops. While the Pokestop's POI interaction radius was increased due to an unprecedented global pandemic, the flow on effects in this game, in-game chains, have far greater positive impact on the community. The increased Pokestop's interaction radius created the following benefits for trainers worldwide. Safety. No needing to cross dangerous roads or reach to interact with point of interest. Okay, let's stop here for a second, okay? So these people are arguing that they don't want to play a game that was designed to walk outside because it's dangerous to walk outside.
Like if that wasn't already a thing, like anytime you go outside.
Right. Well, but
crazy.
they don't want to go outside.
Yeah, they don't want to go outside.
They're happy with this. So the next, not needing to trespass on private property or reach or interact with point of interest. Now, I don't know if you've seen recently or when you were playing Pokemon Go, but in the beginning of Pokemon Go, when you boot it up, I checked actually recently, it does tell you not to trespass. It tells you directly not to do that. So Niantic was already like taking steps to try to get people to avoid that had nothing to do with this. So this is like kind of a weird bullet.
But like when I played Pokemon Go, and you guys who are watching could like attest to this, when you like, you don't have to be right next to the Pokemon to catch it. There's a pretty generous area you have to click it.
Right.
This is why people would drive around and shit and would try to find Pokemon doing that, is because you had a pretty good, like usually like if you're in a city area, like you have like a half a block to a 1 block radius. You don't have to be on someone's lawn to get a Bulbasaur or something. Like that was never. I don't like, if you trespass playing this game, you're dumb. They
absolutely.
They designed the game so that you don't do that. You don't have to get that close. So I don't know what's the problem here.
Which means that these people were trespassing beforehand.
Yeah, probably.
Which is crazy because the game tells you not to, and exactly what you just said. It's not necessary.
No, not at all.
All right. So then it says, provided the ability to play and interact from a sheltered shared location, like under trees, awnings, or shelters to avoid hazardous weather conditions.
Wait. Why do they say this like if...
Dude. So you're telling me that you were out here trying to play Pokemon Go in a rainstorm or some shit?
Bruh.
Yo. They needed Niantic to put in a safety feature so that they could play the game while it's raining or some shit. This
is why maybe we need societal collapse, because people have gotten so they've gotten so privileged to the point that this is a problem for them. This is a phone game.
Right.
It's a game on your phone. This is not like this is not like essential to your day-to-day life. Well, I guess it is for these people.
Yeah. So it says playing from safe locations and not entering areas that would be detrimental to personal safety. These are kind of like a rehash of the last two we just read.
Yeah.
That includes preventing a risk to safety via interpersonal crimes. What? Theft, environmental hazards, and dangerous. Wait, you were getting into crime while you're playing Pokemon Go?
It's like, no. Like, dude, Pokemon Go was literally me and my cousin with like batteries attached to our phone in the city, eating, like drinking like a soda from the corner store, like catching Pokemon on our phones. I don't know what this is like. I'm telling you, these people do not live in the real world. Like,
yeah, no, they don't.
Because that's not, none of this is what happens in the real world. It's people with their friends having a great time pressing their phone screens.
Right. I don't really understand. Like, so are they talking about like wandering into ghettos or something like that? Like, is that what they're talking about?
Are you that stupid to not know what neighborhoods to not go into wherever you're playing from? Like, really?
Yeah, well,
like this is Niantic's responsibility now?
Right. Well, these people probably want like Niantic to like map off like undesirable neighborhoods. They would probably realize that they were very racist if that was the case, though. They would go against their
part of me like wants Niantic
their worldview.
Yeah, dude. Part of me like wants to see Niantic like engage with these morons, to see like just to be entertained by like thinking that you can actually please these idiots.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to. I mean, we'll see. I mean, like I said, they're based in San Francisco, I think. So
what's the activity on this tweet? On these tweets, like, is it like
that's actually a good question. I haven't
like a viral thing, or is it just like 1,000 idiots?
So no, there was from what I can understand, the hashtag was going around quite a bit, and there were people that were boycotting. That was actually the next. These people are actually boycotting or were boycotting the game. I think yesterday there was
it's not gonna last.
It was Pokemon No Day, they were calling it.
Huh.
Yeah. And they were trying to show Niantic that they basically need them or something like that. So this is the thing about this kind of stuff, and I was actually thinking about this the other day, is that there's a certain point where a company's or a creator's product, people start to feel like they have ownership of it.
Yeah.
And And that's what we're seeing here. Like, these people really think that like Niantic owes them something.
Yeah.
Which is obviously not true. But
it's funny because in some cases, like, I don't know if you saw that one. Did we go over this? That one Assassin's Creed thing where some like dude with like, I mean, literally like 10 followers was like,
oh yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah.
I think it was like they were complaining because one of the dialogues was like insensitive to disabled people or something.
Yeah.
And they responded and changed the dialogue for some clown with 10 followers, and that dude just goes around just causing trouble.
Yeah.
Wasn't even being genuine to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like you don't see that kind of stuff too often. I just wonder if like that, because this is the thing. Like Pokemon is like, I think Pokemon is the most successful like franchise in the world.
Probably, yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, that
so
makes sense.
Like, and Pokemon Go is like probably like their best. Their best product. I mean, it's the most available product. It's a free game on your phone. Anybody in the world could download that. So it's like, even if the tweet maybe even got like 100,000 tweets or something, that's nothing compared to how many people actually play it every day.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, you're thinking that maybe like regardless, the amount of people who would boycotting or whatever is probably too insignificant for them to do anything about it.
I mean, Pokemon hasn't really listened to fans for a long time. They kind of just do whatever they want because it's the most popular franchise. That's why a lot of people in the last game, they didn't really like the last game because it's like they're kind of just going their own direction. It's like
what, Sword and Shield?
Yeah,
I like that. I
thought it was okay. It's kind of easy, but like a lot of people did not like that game. It said like it wasn't really innovating, and like I mean, that like the Pokemon company has kind of gone the route of like Blizzard. They kind of don't really care that much about like the feedback because they're so popular.
Yeah.
And I don't see that changing anytime. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they cave into this, but they have like no financial reason to, because they are the most successful series ever, like franchise ever. So
well, this person did type this up on a nicely designed PDF and tweet it out. So they might have to take it seriously.
Maybe.
But moving on, he says, let's see, general personal safety for social distancing during the global pandemic. So that's what these people are the most worried about, obviously. And then accessibility. Here's that buzzword. This is like what we were talking about last time when it comes to the Psychonauts thing. These people want to make everything about accessibility to sound like good people or something. So it says, many disabled trainers could now interact with locations previously excluded for them in the Pokemon Go community. What kind of disability are these people talking about?
It's just a buzzword at this point.
Because if a disability existed that would prevent people from playing Pokemon Go, weren't they already excluded before? And they're just going back to how it was prior. So how did these people even play Pokemon Go anyway? You know what I mean?
It's like, I can't. I mean, I don't know. Like, are they blind? Like, I don't understand. Like, what?
I don't really get it.
What could prevent you beside, I guess, like, what? And even if that's what they were talking about, what could Niantic do to solve that? And like, why is that their problem?
Right.
It's just they just had like, it's kind of like what we said before. It's like the glorification of things that aren't that important. This is a phone game, for fuck's sake. Like, this is not like you should probably call your mom.
This is a baby game, you babies.
Yo, for real. It's unfortunate because like I was never like super into Pokemon growing up, but I like Pokemon.
Yeah.
Man, the community is so cringe. It's like I don't want to be part of it.
Yeah, for real.
Get shit like this.
And then let's see, this includes interaction with gyms and Pokestops that would otherwise be inaccessible to stairs, steep inclines, or other physical barriers, all while being very, very generously within visual range of the point of interest. Yeah, see, again, like, how are these people doing this to begin with? And then also, this game is you're supposed to go outside and go into the world. That's the point of it.
That's the point.
If you have issues doing that anyway, this is not the game for you. I'm sorry, it's just not. That's just kind of how it is. I mean, like, I'm not trying to sound harsh or something, but like, if you're differently abled in that sense, where you can't walk around, you weren't enjoying the game in the first place. So like, changing the entire game to cater to like the small demographic of people that maybe got into it while these restrictions were enacted doesn't really seem to make much sense. And to your point, it probably doesn't make any financial sense for them.
I don't see a reason for them to cave into this. Like, it's too successful already, and like they can't. And this is the thing too. It's like this is like they mentioned be accessible to stairs, steep inclines. You know what Niantic would have to do to cater to that? You
Yeah,
have to
right,
go to like
right.
every stair, every steep incline ever and adjust it according. Like, what do you? These people don't know how video games work at all.
Yeah. I mean, like it is an augmented reality game, so really, like, okay. Look, I'm gonna throw these guys a bone. What they really could do is they could argue for a mode that is accessible to people with disabilities, and it's like a switch, kind of like the invincibility toggle. It's like a switch on and off. I'm disabled, whatever, right? They could argue for that. And since Niantic has already done that, they could roll that out in like some sort of a test. But I still think it's stupid overall because that's not the point of the game. And the only reason they did this was to survive during a pandemic that they're, I guess, feeling like they don't need this stuff anymore. I think this is a pilot, though. I read that they were only rolling these things back in New Zealand and the United States. So it's very possible that they might get scared and stop because of this bad press.
I mean, I don't like. It's weird because it's like you take away from the nature of the game if you're doing all this. Like, you know, like. See, I don't know. It's hard because I don't want to always say that people are just virtue signaling idiots, but they make it very easy to just assume that off the bat because it's like, you know,
it's like they're not thinking.
No, like what do you want them to do? Like this was designed for just people to go outside and have a good time. Like why do you have to create a problem where they're like, are any disabled people asking for this? Like who's asking for this?
Yeah, right. Well,
besides
apparently the Pokemon Go community, whoever wrote this is supposed to be representative of the community. And the thing about this is like, this is why I don't like communities. This is why I don't like this kind of like gaming communities in particular. But like now somebody took it upon themselves to write this whole thing and say that this was on behalf of the entire community of people because they play the game. Remember we talked about this very early on in the series of podcast. Does playing a game make you a part of the community, right? Does a bunch of people even playing a game, I'm gonna take that even further, does a bunch of people even playing a game make them a community? Yes or no? Because does every person playing Pokemon Go think that this makes sense? Probably not. Like, I mean, that being said, I haven't played in a while, so I don't know. But it's saying, okay, so here's the disabilities. Trainers with autism and sensory conditions could engage in the community in a more accommodating distance, allowing them to play with the community but not be overwhelmed by large crowds or triggering locations. You could do that anyway, just avoid the crowds.
Pretty much.
Trainers with young children or in position of care could be more safely interact with points of interest while maintaining a safe environment for those in their care. I don't understand why. See, okay, this is the theme. This is the same thing with Psychonauts. People go to disabilities and children because they want to appeal to people's sensibilities and you don't want to sound like an asshole about this, and it's not really about that at all. Like, no. What do children have to do with it? This is a script. See, this is how I know. This is why I'm talking about this stuff, because I think that like people are clearly brainwashed. Like it's very clear because they're having this exact same kind of motions that they're going through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like accessibility, disabled, and children. You care about the disabled and children, right? You're not a monster, are you? You care about, and it's like so transparent.
Yeah, it's very dishonest. It's like you really see where because these people don't really care about any of that. I mean, like again, because the kids are not being like, "Mommy, it's not safe to go." Like they're not doing that.
Right.
The kids are downloading it and playing with their friends and having a good time.
Right. It's so weird to me. It's like where did this script come from? Who wrote this? Like what?
This is
like
long.
Right.
This is
this is the last page. This is the last page.
Okay.
It says you're like, I'm fucking done with this. This is the last page. He says respect is the next thing. Greater courtesy and respect to non-trainers in the community by way of not crowding or blocking entry to businesses, private property, playgrounds, emergency services, places of worship, or memorials. You should be doing that anyway when you're playing. I don't understand like why you need this to tell you to not be a fucking asshole while you're playing the game.
It's like, govern me, daddy. Like, please. Like, damn, bro. You really just want to be told what to do all the time.
Oh my God. Seriously, right? They're like, we need this in order to like enact basic pillars of human decency.
I mean, that's literally what this entire document is. It's crazy.
Yeah. Says with how diverse and unique members of the Pokemon Go community are, blah blah blah. There's a likely small blah blah blah. This is fucking stupid. The removal of this feature and is impacting the community in countless negative ways. What the fuck? Like
how?
This is okay. Wait. So they sent this and they demanded a reply by end of business day on Monday. So we're gonna have an update by then at least. Maybe we should do like an update, like a quick 15-minute like update on this. But these people are demanding that Niantic get back to them by Monday.
Yeah,
you must get back to us. Like, what the fuck? Look, I'm sorry, but last time I checked, these people did not own Niantic, nor did they own Pokemon, nor do they like have anything to do with how this company does their business.
For real. Like, but we've gotten like, because a lot of companies give into this kind of shit. So like, you kind of, it's one of those things where it's like, when you reward bad behavior for so long, now it's the norm, right? So it's like, this is why I wonder if Niantic will cower to this, but I really don't. I don't. I mean, like, maybe just I only say maybe just because anything's possible in 2021, but I don't see an incentive for them to do that at this point. I mean, this is not like some indie game. This is Pokemon. They can do whatever they want, and like people, the things that, because this is the thing about like these like social these activists kind of people that do this, especially like in the woke left and shit and all this kind of stuff. It's like you have to understand, like, these people don't have very long attention spans to begin with.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't expect these people to care that much for long periods of time. Eventually, they give up when you stop giving it attention. We had that experience when we got canceled. Like, it's like, right. What happened to all the e-girls now? It's like they stopped caring, right? It's like they went back to because they don't really care that much. It's just like, well, they got some likes, now onto the next thing. Like, we know this.
Exactly.
It is what it is, but it's like, this is why I don't think companies need to cower to this stuff. It's like, these people are mentally ill and they have nothing to do. And eventually, in a very short amount of time, they will find the next thing to cry about.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is just let them cry. Like, Twitter has as much power as you give it. So like, I don't, especially when it comes to stuff like this. So
facts. And speaking of, this is actually a great segue to our next topic here. This is something that is going on, and this seems like a targeted attack on our boy in Aberdeen, Washington. So it, again, like we mentioned, if you are watching this by this time, you probably have heard of this, and if you haven't, then like you're probably just not on the internet and you're probably not watching this. So if you have heard of this is the story of the trans person who walked into, I guess, a Star Wars memorabilia store in Aberdeen, Washington.
Seems like it.
And the owner basically got into an argument over a sign. Now, I'm going to put the video in this video. So I'm probably going to have to put up another disclaimer because that might get removed from YouTube also, but we'll have the audio version of this podcast up and you can hear it. Basically what happens is, person comes into the store and they're arguing over a sign. Now, in the original video, I didn't know what the sign said, but according to this article, if you can see, it says that the sign reads, "If you were born with a chick or a dick, you are not a chick."
Facts.
So that was the sign. And I'm gonna let you guys check out the video here.
It ain't bullshit. I'm telling you right now, as a trans women are women.
Well, I'm telling you, as a man, that's bullshit. It's total bullshit.
Okay.
You know what? Nobody confronts your ass. That's the problem.
Really?
If they'd say,
really?
What the?
You want to bet?
What the fuck is
you know
going
on?
Do you know how many people you've embarrassed at City Hall?
Okay, so we all watched that. Now, what happened was, apparently this person is a council person.
Yeah, I actually just looked her up. Councilwoman in the town of Aberdeen.
See, you know what's crazy though is that they're getting us to like use female gendered language.
Yeah, they said
Just
councilwoman.
because like that's all I've been seeing. But like the reality is this person is a man. So trans woman is a man, right? Trans women are men, right?
Right.
So that's what's happening. So this person came in and I guess like told the shop owner to take down the sign. Like as you guys saw, and the guy's straight up like, no, people like the sign.
Yeah.
And it goes on for quite a while. Actually, the video that you guys just saw was like only like maybe a minute or two of it.
Yeah, I watched,
but it goes on for like 8 minutes.
Yeah, it's a 2-part thing. I watched both parts last night. It was glorious. I mean,
Yeah.
this guy, like, this is the way. It's unfortunate that like someone like him has to do this. I'm like, bro, like guys our age should we like this is something like people our age should be doing this, because he should be chilling in the store and just like the fact that he has to do this is crazy. But this is kind of where we're at. This guy's a hero though.
Right. So like even he was saying, he's like, look, the problem is that nobody confronts you. And like the reality is like, look, like you can believe whatever you want to believe, man, but you can't make me believe it. And you can't get upset when I don't adhere to your construct of reality. That's just like, that's just ridiculous, especially because of the fact that like reality does not adhere to someone else's construct of what it is. It's just, that's the truth, you know? The guy comes in here talking about like this side is bullshit, blah, 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 blah. It's like, look, you don't need to be in here. Okay. You can believe whatever you want. You can do whatever you want, man. But I don't have to believe this shit. And you can't, how are you going to come in here and try to tell me what to do in my store, man? Man, that guy is dope.
It's, I mean, not that these people care, but it's always funny to see the irony. It's like, well, it's a private business. They can do what they want until you can't.
Yeah.
So
well, they don't actually believe that.
Yeah,
most people don't actually believe that. These are the same people that wanted a guy to like make a cake for a gay wedding and that he didn't want to participate in, which is the same thing where it's like, look, you can do whatever you want. Other people are not they're not obligated to confirm and affirm and participate in what you're doing. Once it becomes that point, see, that's the thing. This is why I started to get a little bit more vocal about this kind of stuff, because it's not that like I have like the issue of you can't do that. Like I'm not going to tell you or this person that they can't dress up as a woman if they want to. I'm not going to tell them that. That's not what my point is. My point is I don't have to agree with that decision, and I don't have to call you a female if you're not. That's just what it is. We've talked about this several times though. There are spaces where, like, for example, Blair White, I feel like it'd be weird to refer to Blair White as a he, because Blair has gone through like so many like so much surgery on the face and all these kinds of things to look female, that it's like I look at Blair and I don't see male. This type of person though, I'm like, that's the same thing this dude was doing. He's like, look at you. Like, you're like,
yeah, you know,
like,
Blair's mentioned that. She was like, you know, like straight people are attracted to really like secondary sex characteristics, like skin or like breast or like things that you can outwardly see. But Blair was like, you know, but if you see a full-on hairy dude, but he's got a vagina, you're not going to be attracted to him, because it's really what you see on the outside. So it's like, of course, it makes sense that you really want to call Blair like a she, but not this guy.
Yeah,
this guy's just put on a wig. It's just like,
right.
You know, again, like, you know, like wokists don't want to accept that, but it's like, you know, this is what we see. Like, we're visual creatures.
Right.
Like, if we see that you mainly look like a dude, I mean, it is what it is. Like,
and I'm gonna amend what you said, because I'm not out here talking about I want to bang Blair White. I'm not attracted.
Yeah.
But Blair looks like a female, like a typical female, right? Like at least like at first glance.
Yeah.
There are things like about Blair where it's like if you look closer, like you can see that like Blair has very large hands, for example.
Yeah.
Right. But like at first glance, Blair looks like a female, so it would be weird for me to be like he, because Blair does not present as a male.
Yeah.
But yeah, like somebody like this, or like Lauren Hubbard, I think, is the weightlifter that was competing in Olympics, which, by the way, if you don't know, failed competing in the Olympics. But those types of people, it's like, look, man, you can't really get mad at me for not seeing that.
Like, they're not putting in the effort, so like, what am I supposed to just assume that? Like what? That's crazy. Like,
right. It's like you have to, we talked about this before too. It's like, you have to prove it. You have to prove it to me at that point. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not going to tell you can't do whatever, but like, you can't tell me I can't do whatever. And if you want me to see you a certain way, you have to make that effort.
I mean, they want to change reality. It's what these people want. It's not going to happen. Like, I mean, even if they take over the world, like reality is still going to be there. It will always be there.
Right.
This is what it is. Like,
right. But so I was just thinking, so even when it comes to like putting in the effort, this is the same thing with like getting respect at like a job or something like that, right? It's the same thing, right? You don't get that just for like existing, right? You have to like prove worth and all this kind of stuff. And you have to make effort in order to do this. Why would this be any different?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's not about that anymore.
No.
But so we're gonna probably see more information about this guy like over the next couple of days and weeks, and we'll update you guys, because this is an interesting story, and I kind of want to see what happens with this. I think that guy was just like, look, you know what? I'm fed up with this nonsense. I'm just fed up.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are. They're just done. I mean, they kind of feel at this point that they don't have a choice but to do things like this, because we know, like we talked about I think an episode or two ago, we know what these people want now. Yeah, they don't want to just like, well, just leave me alone. No, they don't want to leave you alone. They're not going to leave you alone until they're in every aspect of your life. That's what these people do. Right. So we got to do shit like that. That's what it is.
Yeah. And that's not to say that there aren't just people out there that are like this, that just want to have their regular lives and be left alone. Like, I mean, like, I know that exists. Right. Exactly.
They don't have the power. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, just to go slightly off topic for a second, Tim Pool had Vosh and Charlie Kirk.
Oh, yeah. Night. Yeah.
I watched that thing last night. I'm not really crazy about Charlie Kirk. He's kind of a grifter, but like, I just kind of want to see what they were talking about. And it was really interesting to kind of see like how like out of touch like Vosh is with like, because the whole like they were talking about things similar to this, where it's just like, oh, how do you feel about X, Y, and Z? And he's just like, well, you know, I don't agree with these little things, but overall it's good. Like, you know, like he had a lot of nuanced opinions, but he was constantly pressed by Charlie. But when Charlie was constantly bringing up like, well, the thing is, you have a reasonable, not nuanced opinion, but the people who are representing your values, they don't care about what your nuance. They have their own shit going on. Right. It's like this detachment from what's actually going on. It's like they don't I don't know if they don't understand. I think they do understand. They just don't accept it. They're just in denial. Just like your nuance has been hijacked by radicals. They're everywhere. They're in every institution ever. Right. And so like, you know, you have to understand that like whatever your nuanced opinion is, it's just that it has no weight, because these people who have taken it to that extent, they control everything now. Right. And it's like they don't want to accept it. It's very strange.
Right. Well, I noticed that too, especially when I was like in California and stuff like that, where I would talk to people about these kinds of things and they would just deny it. Like they'd be like, yo, no, like this is a serious problem, because people, and I think a lot of it is that a lot of these people went through academia and they kind of got like slowly conditioned to believe a lot of these things without noticing like the greater impact that it's having on society, because they were insulated while they were doing it and stuff. But yeah, these people they'll straight up just deny, you know, that like, oh, like for example, like the defund the police thing, denying that for a really long time. And it's really interesting to me that they keep doing this song and dance when time and time they're like these things come out, right? Yeah. And it's like okay, well now we got you. Like for example, I have to go too off topic before we get back to video games, but for example, the other day, I think it was yesterday, they published a study saying that like I think it was University of Pittsburgh admitting to like harvesting like baby parts, like, and this is something that Alex Jones was banned off of the internet for talking about, and Joe Rogan was slammed in 2019 for having him on a show when he talked about it, and everybody thought he was crazy for even mentioning it, and it comes out 2 years later and no one is gonna say like, oh well, maybe these people who are warning us about this stuff might have a point. It's never gonna happen. They're just gonna be like, oh yeah, because like by the time it happens, it's like, oh yeah, I mean I guess it's already accepted, it's been in the zeitgeist long enough.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the point too, that these elitists kind of know, like if you just slowly feed it to them repeatedly over time, they just stop caring about it. It doesn't matter if something's true or not. They just accept it over time because it's more convenient. That's what I've really noticed about people in general. They will always choose convenience over pretty much everything. They will value it over everything. It is what it is. But
yeah, I mean that's pretty wild. I mean that explains why we're on the downswing here.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, let's lighten it up a little bit. We're
Yeah.
gonna talk about some fighting game stuff because like I said at the beginning, we did start out as a fighting game podcast, and now we're just kind of everything. But I did want to talk to you about the Street Fighter 5 updates and stuff. What do you think
I actually just watched the
about
trailer.
what's going on?
Yeah. So basically they showed Oro. They showed I think did they show some of Akira at the end?
No, they showed all of Akira because Akira's Akira and Oro are both coming out on the 16th, actually. So they're dropping them both at the same time, which is awesome because I've been looking forward to Akira because I wanted a rival school / Project Justice character in Street Fighter for a long ass time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm fucking stoked. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna show this. Because Tasty Steve did show to his during the Capcom presentation. But I'm also an old school fan. Okay, so I'm actually stoked on the rival schools. Character coming in there. Not as stoked on Oro. Like I never played Oro in Street Fighter 3 or anything. I'll try him out. But you know, honestly, the coolest thing to me was when they showed the Capcom sound team and like how they create all the sound effects and stuff like that. That was pretty awesome. They went through like they showed them kind of like falling on the ground in the gi and like recording all the sound effects and stuff like that.
The game does have great sound design. It does.
Dude, it really does. It really does. Dude, and Capcom has a band that's just like Capcom employees. They're called Cap Jams. I had no idea. So they're
really?
like rearranging and remixing all the music. That's why we're getting all these new music and stuff like that. Yeah, they showed a lot of really cool stuff when it came to that. But the only disappointing thing was the new character.
Yeah.
So
I don't like the only people who are excited are Ed players. It's funny. It's like
are Ed players excited about this?
Kind of, yeah.
Really?
Like, kind of. It's really weird. It's like I don't know. They've done this before. Like I remember when Abigail got announced. Like it was a really weird thing at EVO. Like some people were excited, but it's just like who asked for this? Like
yeah.
Like I mean, I get they want to make like new characters, but the issue with like this because he's a new character, right?
This character is a new character.
Yeah,
I was gonna say character. Abigail's from Final Fight. So I feel like that's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The thing about this new character is it's like inconsistent with this season because this season only exists because of COVID. They've even said this in I think the summer announcement when they announced the season. So it's like, why not just add a bunch of cool stuff that we recognize?
Right.
So that way you keep the game alive until you bring new stuff in Street Fighter 6.
Right,
So doesn't that sound like the most reasonable? I mean, I don't know. I'm not a game designer, but it's a very questionable decision as to why they just created a whole new character. Maybe he was already in the works for Street Fighter 6. That would actually make a lot of sense. About it. But like, why not save him for Street Fighter 6? Because you're gonna introduce his character, and then Street Fighter 6 is gonna come out. It's just like it's weird. It's like why not just make it fun and kind of nostalgic and throw out a bunch of interesting characters from other games? Like it's weird, you know?
Yeah.
Like it would have made more sense if like, oh, here's Fei Long. That would have been cool or something. Or I don't know. It was like what's that like oil character? I forgot his name.
Oh, Hakan from Street Fighter 4.
Something like that. Something stupid or fun, right? Like It's a very odd decision.
No, I agree. I can't even tell you like the immense disappointment that I had. And you're right, like in a sense that like because they were saying he's supposed to set up like the future of Street Fighter or whatever. So maybe he was already in the works to be like the main character of Street Fighter 6 or something. Yeah. But I have a couple of things on that. One is I really hope we don't see Street Fighter 6 for years. Just to be completely honest. I want, if Capcom's going to come out with a new fighting game, give me a new rival schools, okay? Give me something else other than that. Give me a new vampire savior. Give me something other than Street Fighter, right? Just because we have Street Fighter 5, and honestly, the game I think is going to have at least a little bit of more time on its hands.
Yeah.
And just give people a little bit more time with that game. And I agree with your statement on just save the character for the next game and like put somebody cool in there.
Why not?
But like, dude, we heard about this season last year at this point, right?
Yep.
And there was like 5 characters are coming and plus another character that we're not going to reveal yet. Can you imagine deciding to put in a new character over like a guest or something? You've hidden this for like an entire year. Like, sure, Fei Long would have been cool, T-Hawk would have been cool, but like think about they should have gotten an SNK character or like something, because every other fighting game has a guest at this point. Even fucking Power Rangers and Street Fighters is guest. There was that rumor going around that it was going to be like the Green Ranger or something crazy shit like that. if they had put a guest character, people would be stoked. Because the entire game does not have guest characters. I know you guys are sitting here like, oh, well, it's got Final Fight characters and now it's got Rival Schools characters. Those aren't guests because they're in the same universe, okay?
Yeah.
Even if it was like Mega Man, even if it was bad box art Mega Man from Tekken, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, I would have thought that was cooler than a new character. Not that the new character can't be cool. I'm sure the character's going to play fine. But to your point, like, save him for the next game. Like, what are you guys doing? And does that mean
it's weird because like you look at Mortal Kombat, for example.
Yeah.
Like people didn't play the game because they want to get into the technical aspects of Terminator. They bought it. They want to play it because they want to play Terminator. They're like, I watched them. I love Terminator 2. I want to play this character. Like this Street Fighter Capcom not see this?
Right, exactly.
Fighting division. Like, do you not see like, okay, let's see what Tekken's doing. They put in fucking Noctis.
They put Akuma in it.
Yeah, like do they not see like how much hype this brings for the game in general? I mean, like people will pick up a fighting game if their favorite character's in it.
Dude, I bought Flex to play with Terry. I bought Fighting EX Layer because of Terry Bogard.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I bought the game is because he was in it.
Yeah,
straight up. Like, come on, man. Like,
it's probably a big reason why Injustice sells. The game is whatever, but it's got Superman.
Yeah.
It's got like every character you know ever.
Right,
so that's people buy it.
It's got the Ninja, the newer one got the Ninja Turtles and Hellboy in it. It got, you know what I mean? But yeah, the fact that they missed out, I don't know if it was just like maybe it was hard to get licenses or something, but that can't be the case. They have a good relationship with SNK now. That's why SNK versus Capcom was re-released on the Switch. Like, there's no reason for like, dude, they should have put Kyo Kusanagi from King of Fighters. He should have been in there. The fact that that's just so insane to me that they would put a new character in there. Like, again, immense disappointment, or as Guy would say in Street Fighter 4, profound sadness, my friends.
And it's not like they're incompetent. I mean, they partner with Power Rangers. Like, they have their characters in other games. They're no like stranger to this stuff. It's a very conscious decision that they're making. I just don't know why. Like, no one's really asking for this.
Yeah, it's
just like
strange.
Like this season is just literally just let's add content because right now we don't have a new game. That's what the season was announced like. So it's very inconsistent with like how they announced this thing. It's also like here's this hidden character. Capcom should I thought they would learn their lesson after like I think season 2 or season 3. Yeah. When they did that whole season with it, they kept releasing one by one character.
Yeah.
Like, and then they switched it, and then the next season they showed Sakura, Sagat, and that was probably the most hyped season trailer.
Yeah, that was dope.
Like, I would think they would learn from this, but it's like they kind of went back to what they did before. I don't really understand. It's like when you're gonna make a hidden character like that, it better be good. Like, you've created this issue.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It needs to be good now. Now it's not. People are disappointed.
Right. Well, it's not that, like, I can't say that the character is going to be bad. Like, I might have fun playing the character. It's just like, it's a disappointment to have me wait a year and then reveal a face that I've never seen before. Yeah. That's just super weird. Like, I would have been perfectly fine with it if a year ago they had said this character is going to be an original character. Like, we're like in the middle of designing an original character right now who's going to be in the game. I would be fine with that because this expectation would have been set. But what they did was they put it up, like, again, like you said, even Fei Long. If they had come out with Fei Long, you would have been like, oh, snap. Like,
I would probably be playing I would be playing because I played the fuck out of that character in Street Fighter 4. Right. Change everything.
Right, exactly. So, like, you got all these hype characters plus like all these other fighting games doing guests, and Capcom just can't seem to pick up. I don't know. I mean, I think I'll be playing Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter 5 again when Akira comes out because I'm stoked on that.
Yeah, I want to play Akira, but like that's kind of it.
But yeah, so I mean, I think you were right. You said it before, like Guilty Gear's kind of taken over. So they're still going strong. I don't really blame them. I hope every fighting game sees like what they're doing with that netcode. That this is what really we wanted for a long time. We finally got it. Seriously.
So I mean, because like the cast is really why I haven't played it. It's just no one I'm really interested in. If they were to bring in a character, sure I'll play it. But it's the same thing with Tekken.
What if they put Sakura in Guilty Gear? Would you play it?
Maybe. The thing is, like, I really want that kind of neck. I mean, it's really hard to do, but like if they get someone to make that work in Tekken, I'd be playing that game. I love Tekken.
Oh yeah,
but,
for
like,
sure.
it's very difficult to do because Tekken is a total different game. It's like the fastest move is 10 frames. Like it's a total different style of how the game functions. I don't know if rollback netcode will really work in that thing, but it's like if we have more options, like Guilty Gear is the only game with a player base, a consistent player base that has netcode like that. All the other games that have good netcodes, no one's really playing. It have very niche communities. Like we're already niche.
Yeah, right. It gets worse and worse. See, that's the thing. That's why it's not even. We're talking about this before. It's not really even a community, the fighting game community. It's sub communities because there's communities around the specific games. It's not really like a whole overarching thing.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, so that's it. We're both disappointed with Capcom, and we're just also disappointed with the world. You got Pokemon Go players going nuts. You got people yelling at store owners in their store because of a funny sign, and you have Luke in Street Fighter 5. So Ceelows, on that note, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me at YouTube and Twitch at Ceelows.
All right, you can find me at Twitch and mine's at MrBehavior, and on YouTube at Mr. all spelled out Behavior. And we're gonna see you guys for the next time because, as usual, there's always some fucking bullshit happening on the internet. So see you in the next episode.
You're not a warrior, you're just a beginner. Get up, whip, and bask in the glory of a winner. My strength is much greater than yours. I'm a street fighting legend, the creator of wars. No use debating the score, I've waited patiently for someone to pound through the ground. I'll smash your face in the floor. Get lost, dog, I'm the boss. You can't compare with my powers. I play this game for the fame, like claim to hundreds of hours.
Listen, it's a tournament edition. Challenging me is just like pissing in the